So how do you get it to become a hostage negotiator? Because that's what you became.
So that's a specialized unit, specialized training. You can keep your primary responsibility because what happens is you end up being on call. And that sucked because you would be in the middle of something and you'd get a call out.
And you have to go.
Because
there's not many of you.
No. And you need a team to assemble. On rare occasions, you can call out. So they'll put out an opening, and in every department is different, but they'll put out there's an opening, and then you interview for it, and then how well you do in the interview, you get selected. And at the time I was the youngest ever to be selected on the team, and that was a phenomenal experience. And so once you're on the team, you get your phones, but then you had pagers too, and you get your gear, your jacket, and everything, and you just start responding to calls. Obviously after training, you start responding to call outs. And it's, if anything on the department weighs on you, it's talking to a person for a significant amount of time or listening to a person talk to for a significant amount of time, being part of the team, and then the person does themselves. Because hostage negotiation isn't really a good term for it. It's more of a crisis negotiator because most of the time that we do it, it would be from a person in crisis, a person that wants to 405, as we said earlier. That
who's considered unaliving themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, take me through a scenario like that.
Okay, so an actual situation?
Yeah.
This one was deep, and I wasn't the primary on this one, and this is a story that resonates, and they even tell us in the class now. A guy who life was horrific. He had a terminal illness. He had and I wasn't really, when I was younger, I didn't realize how many people have back issues and their back pain is just suffering and they don't want to live anymore. And so I think what he had was cancer. He had a back issue that was just causing him severe, severe pain. And his wife left him because it was a whole bunch of issues and he had financial issues for all these things that he was going through. So what happens is you assemble a team. There's a primary. There's a secondary. The primary is the person that talks to the person, and they're on the phone. Their sole focus is to talk to the person.
Talk to the person that's in crisis.
That's in crisis.
Okay.
The secondary is the person that is monitoring the primary and getting information from the rest of the team. And the team can vary, but two positions that are really important is the intel liaison, which is the person that tells the background of the person. The person's this age. They were married this amount of time, all the intel that you can possibly get on the person, right?
Okay.
Then you have the tactical liaison person because you have a SWAT team that's assembled as well because you may have to potentially breach or go inside of the residence. So tactically you have to know, has this place been evacuated? Have you, are there weapons inside? Has this person done this before? So the TAC and the intel person feed this information to the secondary. The secondary can write notes and feed it. Then you have a scribe who scribes all this information.
Okay.
So the case that I was talking to you about was this person who had gone through this thing. He was going through this thing, and it was a newer negotiator that was on as the primary. And after all this time of talking to this guy and getting to know him, the guy says, I know exactly what you're doing, and you really suck at it, and then shot himself in the head. He said, you really suck at it. That was the last thing that he said.
It would kind of suck, though, if that you're considering unaliving yourself, you get on with the negotiator, and he's just horrible at it. You're like, oh, God, yeah. Dude, that's crazy. That's a mic drop, bro.
Yeah, it is. And that person had to live with that. That's their record on the department is that
were they really good at it though? And the person just didn't know it. And because anybody could say that. That could be an asshole move.
It can be. And part of it was that because how is it and what is good, right? How is it and what is good? Because I actually brought a scenario that I was going to work through with you if you wanted to try to be a negotiator. And
yeah.
So basically, this is pretty cool, man. Because this is I put this together, which is a composite of a few different negotiator things, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to be the primary.
Okay.
And so here's the situation. I can read it, or you can read it on what the situation is, and. Actually, I'll read it to you as if you just showed up at the scene that you just rolled up, all right?
Okay, great.
All right. Theo, you're going to be the primary in this one, okay?
You got it.
The subject's name is Michael Brady. He goes by Mike. The background intel we have is he's a middle school biology teacher for the last 14 years. He's a youth pastor at a local Christian church for the last 7 years. He's 47 years old, and he's a white male. He's been married for 18 years. His wife's name is Carol Brady. She's 46 years old. They have one son. His name is Bobby Brady. He's 9 years old. Today, Michael was put on administrative leave for school when sexual assault detectives came to the school on an anonymous tip. He allegedly impregnated a 14-year-old student. Her name is Pamela Phillips. Mike Brady is currently barricaded inside the residence. We got the call because Mike came home, told his wife to get out of the house as he entered an upstairs bedroom and shut the door. He appeared to be holding a firearm. He is currently barricaded inside the residence. Your personal observation, Theo, is that as you pulled up to the scene, you see a young boy in a baseball uniform talking to detectives, and he's crying hysterically. Presumably, this is the son, Bobby. Okay? Tactical intel. There are 2 known firearms. There's a shotgun inside, .45 caliber automatic pistol. SWAT has arrived and they set up the inner perimeter. Neighboring houses have been evacuated. You can ask me 3 questions and then I'm going to begin as though I'm Mike and you're going to talk to me.
Okay, I asked you 3 questions.
You can ask me 3 questions to get some information to get started.
About the case?
Yep.
Okay. Is it based on the Brady Bunch at all a little bit?
I used that because I knew I'd remember those names.
Oh, very fair. Okay. Damn, that's one of my questions. Let me think.
No, that one you can throw us out. You can ask me 3 questions that pertain to, because you're going to go online, and when you go online, it's going to be pretty intense.
Okay, so I'm going to go online.
You're going to be talking to me, and I'm Mike Brady.
Okay.
You're the primary.
Has Mike ever committed any priors?
Prior crimes or with young women?
Prior, assault charges?
Nope. He has his record is completely clean.
Okay. How tall is he?
Interesting question. He's 6 foot even.
Okay. And is he on any medication?
Very good question. He is. He takes a sleeping pill to sleep. He has a sleeping issue.
Ooh. Okay, sir.
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, who's this?
This is Theo. Actually, I'm working. I'm here today, man. Just
I really screwed up, didn't I, man?
I think it seems like you've had a tough day.
I have had a tough day, but I mean, I screwed up this time, didn't I?
I think you're probably gonna have to answer some questions, but I think everything's gonna be okay, man.
How's it gonna be okay? This girl's pregnant, man. I mean, how am I gonna face anyone after this?
Well, I think you're gonna have to. Her dad's gonna be pissed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, people are gonna be upset.
I'm not thinking about her dad. I'm thinking about my family.
Okay, people are gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, man, it sucks. Okay?
It does suck.
It sucks. But here we are.
Yeah. I mean, how am I gonna face my son?
Your son's pretty upset right now.
Yeah, he is. Of course he is. I knocked up a 14-year-old girl. I'm a youth pastor in a church. I teach at a school. My life is over. Give me a good reason why I shouldn't just put this thing to my head and blow my brains out.
Because your son's life is still around. And that's not what he needs right now. You know?
Probably right about that. But I mean, how can I face him, man?
I think you call him first.
Call him and say what? What would you say in that situation?
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. I would tell him the truth. I would say I messed up.
And you think that's the answer? To tell him I messed up? I know I messed up.
I think it's part of it. I know you did, but he probably doesn't know what's going on.
He doesn't. Is he out there right now?
Yeah. You want me to put him on?
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel? How do you think you did? Was that intense?
Huh? It is intense.
It is intense.
Fuck, it's intense. Because you're like, even if you get to that part, is he just going to tell the son goodbye?
Exactly. See, Theo, you are super wise, brother. That's exactly why we wouldn't put the son on the phone. Because that's exactly what he would likely do. He would likely, and so this is why we train. So a couple of other things, right? When we said son, that was a good opportunity for you to do what? Identify his son by name, Bobby. Because isn't Bobby different than saying son?
Yeah.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
My wife, that was opportunity, and I knew that. And this, I mean,
No. Look, use it as instructional. Use it instructional. It's very interesting.
But that's when you say Carol, right?
Right.
Yeah, Carol. Yeah. But what I like is that you humanize the situation, right? Like you that's the thing. Again, it's where you get the Theo, where like he's talking to a person that he could potentially relate to, and you create that kind of that air about the situation where you would get other cops to be just completely freaked out or completely militaristic, you know? And I like that you kind of humanize the whole situation. And this is obviously super condensed. But
no, well, the fascinating thing to me is, when you realize the gravitas of this, like you think it's easy. And then even this is a placebo, even in that, you're like, I don't have the answer right now. And if I don't get this right, what happens? And then I'm starting to learn as I think about it too. I'm like, well, it's not about you anymore. It's about your son. And then that kind of makes me sad. Then it's like now suddenly I feel more feelings because I'm like, well, shit, now I'm doing this really for the son. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even realize that until that moment, even though like you could be trained for that, it's like until that's said and it's a real moment and you can picture the son and God, dude, it's like, it's just scary. And then at some points, you might agree that the guy, it might be best if he lets God just, I don't know. Is that crazy to say that? I don't know. I don't think it is crazy. I think it's normal.